Today, in the course of about 7 minutes, we're going to dive into project trees. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll have a full idea of what project trees are and how you can implement them into your HueForge workflows. Trust me, this is not something you want to skip. This is probably the single best feature that has been added to HueForge when it comes to your workflow. It is going to make your time in HueForge significantly less of a headache. So buckle up, give me the next 5 minutes of your life, and let's talk about project trees inside of HueForge. Come on, let's go. Hurry up. Let's go. We're running out of time. Boom. So we're inside of HueForge. Now, we're going to blaze through some of the fundamentals here. Go ahead, update your HueForge to 0.9.3. That's the version that this was implemented in. When you have it open, press F10. We have F10 open here, and this will open your project tree dashboard. This is where you see your user trees and then your autosave trees. Your user trees are any of the trees that you manually implement. So that means you press F4 or F5. We're going to talk about keybinds in a second, and you manually save a snapshot of your HueForge. Autosave trees are a little bit different. These function more as an autosave library of things that you have done over the past minute or so in your HueForge edit, meaning that these will take about every 60 seconds. And as you can see in this HueForge session, I've actually used quite a few different images and was just kind of playing around with it. Now you can see that I've really been leaning into this one image for the sake of this video. So autosave trees take every 60 seconds. They do purge after some time has passed, so don't rely on them. You should get into the habit of manually triggering your project tree saves. So what are the keybinds? F5 is going to create a snapshot of your current settings. Boom, snapshot taken, nothing fancy, nothing special. It just takes a snapshot of what you're currently working on, and this will live in your user tree section. F4 will create a named snapshot. So this is something that you really want to remember. Let's say you take a snapshot of an image and you are considering actually printing that one. Well, then maybe you would name it something special like print option 1 so that you could go back to it later after you've edited some things around. F7 will undo, F8 will redo, F10 will open this project tree window, and then F6 will manually trigger an auto save checkpoint. Why is project tree so important? Well, if you've ever been super deep into a edit, let's say in color match, and you have tons of colors in your mesh core and in your color core there, then you know that you are switching lots of sliders around. And let's say you get to a point where the image is 95% there, and you're content with actually printing that option, but you want to keep tinkering around with it so that you might get it to 100%. Well, you could trigger project tree save, and then after you mess around with it, let's say you make it worse than what it was previously, which I do all the time, then you'll be able to manually go back to that point in your edit so that you don't lose that progress. But remember, this is not an autosave feature, meaning that if you close HueForge and walk away and come back tomorrow, it's not going to remember any of this. Is for your session, and it's very important to remember that because I have made many mistakes. Close out of this, press F10, open the window up. Now we have our user trees. So let's say I am messing around with this image and I really like maybe this like really subtle pink kind of look. Well, then I could press F4 on my keyboard and I could type in print option 1. We're going to click OK. But let's say I want to get a couple different options. Let's come up here and I'm going to maybe do this one right here. And I really like how saturated that pink is. And so I'm going to press F4 and go print option 2. And then let's say, you know what, I need a couple more layers inside of my blend depth just to get a middle of the road pink here that I really like. Maybe something like that. I could press F4 and type in print option 3. Boom. Now we have 3 different project tree saves. So, and it will remember all your settings. So blend depth, base thickness, maybe your brightness, your base layer size, all of it will remember. So then when we press F10, theoretically, we should see our saves. And we do. We have print option 1. We have print option 2, and then we have print option 3. So let's go back to print option 1. What we're going to see when I click on it once is a list of the things that changed. So changes from parent. This is the one that I'm on, the parent one, and then changes from current position. So you'll see that our max blend depth is going to go down again. Our slider values are going to change. if I double click on print option 1, you're going to see my image change back. And now all of a sudden we're back to that original section that we made. But now let's keep editing. Let's say I want the pink to be so subtle. I'm going to press F4 again, type in print option 4. We're going to click OK. This is going to be very important here because when we come back and press F10, now our project tree looks a little different. We have this parent, print option 1 that we made, and then we have our original timeline. If you want to think about it like Marvel timelines, that's great. So we can still come to print option 2, and now we have that really saturated pink. And we can come back to that print option 3, which increased our layer height. And you can see that when we switch between the two, the layer height does get adjusted. But why did print option 4 create a new branch? Well, that's because when we went back to print option 1, we made an edit from that option. And so anytime we go back and then make more edits, it creates a branch to help us organize it. So let's come here to print option 4. Let's close out of this, and then let's add another color. This will be really ugly. Let's add blue. Yeah, we love this. Something like that. Yeah, okay, let's say we love that. Well, then we can press F4 again and name it print option 5. But then let's actually, I don't really like that. Let's open F10, come back to print option 4, close out of that, and then let's try purple, but up top. I want the, yeah, maybe I like the pink outline, and then I'm gonna press F4, print option 6. Okay, whenever I press F10 again, we're going to have a new branch because we created it under the parent of print option 4. This is going to be so helpful because now, once you imagine having a lot of these, you're doing commission work for a client or you're working alongside someone and you need to get the edit done, but you need to go back to maybe print option 2. That was the one that at the end of the day, this is the most accurate. This is the one that the client would want. Then you can ship this one. Or let's say you create 3 or 4 renditions and print several of them to compare side by side. You could actually come in, right click and rename it to printed 1. So now this is signifying that I've printed it. And you can go through all of these different settings however you'd like, and it will retain the settings that you used for that autosave. Y'all, this is the single most influential, probably the most important thing that you should begin implementing into your workflow now. So, how do I use this actually? Well, anytime I make significant changes, I manually add a save. Imagine playing video games like back in the 2005s, right? You go all the way back to 2005, you're playing your favorite video game, and autosave just isn't going. Well, you want to save your progress. You want to save your progress. This is you saving your progress. Get into the habit of even just pressing F5. Because F5, although you won't type in a name, it will take a silent snapshot and just title it snapshot that you can go back to. I would honestly say anytime that you make a significant change to your HueForge, something that you want to be able to revert back to, you should take a snapshot, even if it doesn't seem like you need to, because as you start getting more advanced and as you start working on bigger projects and as you start color matching larger files, having all of this data is going to be so incredibly helpful for you so that you can go back and look at your work or revert back to something that you did previously. I hope that video was helpful. I hope this really helps paint the picture for you for how helpful and how useful project trees can actually be inside of HueForge. Have you put project trees to the test? Have you used them? How do you feel like they work for you? What are things that you love, or what are some things that you'd like to see updated? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you haven't liked or subscribed or done any of the things for YouTube, please do. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers and every single one counts. So please help a brother out and subscribe. Huge shout out to everyone on Patreon and on YouTube. Thank you guys. I could not be here without y'all. And hey, if you're looking to go from maybe complete beginner to complete pro inside of HueForge, check out my website. I have